Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm FPLD and today I'm here for an updated wildcard draft based on the fact that we know that Erling Haaland is definitely going to be out of the Leicester game. So I've had to make some alterations and I've got so much more money to spend. So I'm here updating the draft that I'm going to be doing, that I will be playing, and hopefully I've got a few ideas. I'm going to talk it through it. It might be a little bit messy. Maybe it's helpful, maybe it's not. Let me know in the comments if you're wildcarding and your plans have been completely thrown out of the way. Without going any further though, can you please smash a like on the video, share it with your friends, drop us a comment and subscribe if you haven't already. And without further ado, let's go. So this was my team selection from yesterday, and yeah, I was very happy with this team. I had zero money left in the bank. I was exceptionally happy with the way it looked. I fixed the graphics as well, so like the players are playing exactly where you want. Obviously, when we got the news and I woke up this morning, I slept on it and I was pretty damn happy. I was like, I'm going to roll with it. If we get any kind of news that Haaland is going to be half decent, half okay, I'm rolling with the man. Unfortunately, it looks like he might be struggling to get back for the Club World Cup, so he needs to be moved. So he's not going to make the draft, and it's unfortunately, I think this is going to make FPL super boring because everyone that is wildcarding is literally going to end up on the exact same draft I'm going to share with you. And look, the midfield spots are so hard. When you look at them, I'm looking to bench boost in game week 33, and even if you just look at this team here, the only players that are questionable, Bruno Fernandes has Wolves in game week 33 at home, which looks very nice on paper. Mo Salah, I don't even know if he can entertain getting rid of the man. He's going to be chasing records, looking to break them. Salah's obviously got a double game week. Murphy is definitely someone that will be moved out for that particular round, but there's just so many ifs, buts, and maybes, and I don't know what the correct play is. And like, I've actually changed a number of things overnight to catch the price rises as they are. So I think the best thing to do now is just to go straight into the FPL website and talk you through what I'm doing with some forward planning, and hopefully it makes a little bit of sense. So this is the team currently as things stand. I've got 6.5 million in the bank, and I've obviously ditched Nico Williams for Guardiola and Marmoush for Haaland, and that's all I've done so far. So at the moment, the way that it is looking is when I go to pick team, that's how it's looking. So I've got Raya starting in goal with Gabriel, Munoz against Southampton, Guardiola at home to Leicester, so that's my three. And then I'm like well, I've got Kluivert, but I've got the money right where I could just go for Saka. And Arteta was very adamant that they've been holding Saka back in his press conference yesterday, so maybe that is a plan that I just bring in Saka for Kluivert, save me some transfers, because essentially Kluivert was going to be becoming Saka, provided Saka looks good. There's a few other things that I've also thought about doing, and it all does become a little bit messy, but I suppose I just want to talk you through each of the methods and what I'm actively thinking. But realistically, I think this is how I'm probably going to finish my wildcard draft at now. Kirkes and Kluivert are probably just going to leave because I'm not going to need Kirkes anyway if I'm playing Munoz, Gabriel and Guardiola in a back three this week. And then the fixtures for Bournemouth, I'll just quickly restore Kirkes just to show you what I'm talking about here. And we'll make that a little bit bigger so it makes a bit more sense. So Kirkes, obviously, they've got that nice fixture, but then it's West Ham away. I'm expecting West Ham to score, and then I don't really foresee too many clean sheets for Bournemouth for until pretty much the last week of the season when they got Leicester at home. So that's why I still want to play the free hit game week 38, right? I'm just trying to move my assets out. And then I've done the planning that if I get it right, I only have to make one transfer for a hit in game week 34 in order to field an 11 players. I don't know how good the 11 players will be, but that is my plan. And then save free hit for the last game week of the season. That's what I'm going with this draft. And I'm probably just going to ignore Villa assets for that very in particular reason. So with that being said, I don't want this video to be too long because lots of people are going to be sitting there just mind-boggling, and I'm even mind-boggling thinking about it. So God knows what everyone else is doing. So Marmoush, as I said, he's got to be in there. I think that's the three forwards that every man and his dog is going to have. There's going to be no rank gaining. There's going to be no rank lossing because all the engaged FBL teams, I think, will just go with that front three and they'll just play them pretty much every week. Maybe you bench Marmouche over a couple of weeks compared for a fifth midfielder, but I'm not 100% sure. So Kluivert here could easily go for Saka. All right, because I've got the money to do it. So bring in Saka. That also looks pretty good. I've even thought about bringing in Phil Foden instead of Saka or for Bruno Fernandes. There's a world where obviously I can bring in, Foden, add player. Obviously, as I said, Kirkes, I don't need him, and I need a third Newcastle asset. And as I said, I really like the look of West Ham in game week 33, so I'm coming around to the idea of playing Areola because he has Southampton in 33, so you would expect them to keep a clean sheet. Now, this position here has to be a Newcastle defender, and in reality, I just need the cheapest bloke I want because he's only going to be playing in game week 32 essentially and maybe 31 with that Leicester away game. But even then, I'm not 100% sure. Now, the other problem, as you can see here, I've got 1.9 million and I've got Jacob Murphy. Now, I would love this to be Gordon. Provided Eddie Howe gives an update today saying he is fit and available. If he's fit and available, Gordon looks amazing there. But then I've got to find 0.5 million. And I'm like, where do I get it from? Like, do I just ignore Phil Foden? The only reason I want Phil Foden this week is because it's Leicester at home. Like Man United away, Crystal Palace at home, Everton away, potentially Aston Villa at home in 33. It's not the worst run of fixtures for City, but Phil Foden's done nothing. I'm just playing this purely off gut. Otherwise, I don't go with a third City player. Bruno Fernandes stays back. And then I've got the money for Anthony Gordon there. Milinkovic then stays in defence. The other thing I could do potentially is drop Milinkovic down to like a Disasi. But I am going to want those Forest players for game week 34, where they're highly likely to play Brentford at home, which tells me that they're probably going to have points there. Then they've got Leicester in 36, Crystal Palace in 35, West Ham in 37. I'm going to want Milinkovic before the end of the season, so I think I just want to keep him. This obviously allows me to then play Anthony Gordon, Burn, Isaac in 32, and then obviously I then just roll with it. And in 33, Gordon would become Bowen for that bench boost. Bruno Fernandes, as I said before, has Wolves in 33. So this is a little bit of forward planning in order to use my bench boost. I still don't know what I'm going to do with the triple captain. Part of me is hoping that Haaland's going to be fit and available and I'll move back to him. I suppose the way I wanted it, the thing I wanted to provide people with is when you go into Fantasy Football Hub, and I'll make this a little bit bigger because this is a bit small. So game week 30, I've got a game week rating of 99% without doing those other moves. So that's sticking with Kluivert, Kirkes. It recommends Mo Salah as captain, which is where I'm probably going to be going. I've got 6.5 in the bank. Now, if I go to game week 31, again, 95% rating. If I click optimize team, nothing happens. So again, it's a pretty good team in 31. If I go to 32, it goes down to 85%, but hopefully for some weird reason, it has brought Murphy on. It takes me back up to 94%. So even with keeping the Bournemouth assets and not doing these other moves, Fantasy Football Hub reckons I'm actually pretty much on the money. And in game week 33, 91%. Obviously, I can optimize team there, see what happens. 92. Obviously, I'm not too bad. I mean, Crystal Palace away for Bournemouth may not be the worst thing in the world. But if we go back to, and then game week 34, obviously it's 38% and I'm in a bit of trouble. It will probably put, okay. So then it's got 67% rating, but it reckons I'm playing with 5 defenders. I'm not going to be doing that. And I will obviously make moves in order to field a team. So if we quickly go back to 31, and I'm just going to quickly put in the moves, 30, that I have been thinking of. So if I get rid of Kluivert and I get rid of Kirkes and I bring in Saka and I bring in Dan Burn, and I've got Areola there as well already. And then obviously, as I said, I think that still gives me, let's just make those transfers. Now it's going to optimize my team. It's going to say it's 98%. So I lose 1 percentage point for this week based on that. At least you have 2.7 in the bank. Again, I could get rid of Murphy. I'm not sure why it's saying Saka on the bench. That's quite interesting. And obviously I could bring in Gordon who we know is not available. So we'll do that. Optimize team again. Now Sucker's on, still 98%. So now we go to game week 31. Again, ditto, optimized team, still looking pretty good. Game week 32, optimized team. Dan Burn comes on, 98%. So it is slightly better going with this and leaving 0.3 in the bank. And obviously, I think Anthony Gordon, if he's fit and available, if Eddie Howe gives us that confirmation, I think that he's definitely the player to go with. Then, if we go to game week 33, this is when I would transfer out Gordon. So put Gordon in the bin. Bowen will come in. Then I'm going to click make transfers. I'm going to optimize my team for that. Bowen's going to come in. That gives him 95%. And that will be when I play my bench boost. So I'll have Milenkovic with Tottenham away. It's not going to be Brentford at home. I don't know why it's saying that. So that's probably the worst one. Dan Burn, obviously not ideal as well. Bruno Fernandes is definitely going to be there. Areola. Maybe there's a world where I transfer Burn out for another defender as well in order to maximize those points. Maybe he becomes a disaster and I just roll with it. But then when I get to game week 34, I then will have 3 transfers, right, that I can make in order to fix the mess that is this up. So when it comes to that, I'll just quickly press optimize team because it's going to come up with nothing. I need to work out what I'm going to do. So this one here, I'm pretty sure Alanga he's likely to have Brentford at home, right? This is all automatically like hypothetical, etc., etc. Bruno Fernandes, Mo Salah's there. Isaac's there. Obviously want my Newcastle assets. So in reality, one of these defenders, and it's highly likely to be Gabriel because their fixtures after this, Bournemouth at home, Liverpool away, etc., are not the best. So he may well become just a Shah or like whoever I want it to be. Could be a Shah. That looks pretty good. Now all of a sudden I've got a couple make those transfers. Takes my game week rating up to 66. And obviously then I'd still lacking 1, 2. I've got 8, 9. I've got 9 players. I still need to get rid of 2 more. Highly likely Mateta goes. And I potentially will go for I don't want Crystal Palace assets to finish. Now Cunha will actually be available for this game. So -4 gets me to a 75% team. Then if I really want to think about it, I'll still have 1.8 in the bank. Maybe Saka then leaves here and he becomes Cole Palmer. And we'll bring him in. He's got Everton at home, which sounds pretty good. So for a -8, I can then have a team that's 100% team rating, 85% for the game week, and that looks pretty good on paper. So I think that's probably the play. And then that allows me to just navigate that. And I took a -4 in game week 29 and I got 82 points. So I'm backing myself into to hopefully read the situation right, do it well, target the fixtures that are targetable that week. It might even be Anthony Robinson comes in instead of Shah for that thing. And then maybe Anthony Gordon comes in instead of Cole Palmer for that Ipswich game. That might also be another possibility that potentially I could go with. But obviously Cunha's got Leicester at home, which screams points for me in that one. So I really like the idea of having him. So then that allows me then to play the free hit in 38. So yeah, that's my forward planning. Game week 35, obviously, if we go back to there and click optimize team, it goes back to a 93% rating. So it's still looking pretty good. And I've still got a really good team. Obviously, that's why Cole Palmer's possibly not as good there because he's obviously got Liverpool home that week. So that's something to keep in mind as well. But look, it is looking pretty damn good and I'm quite happy with the way things are shaping up there at the moment. So yeah. With that being said, that's probably where I'm going to go. My team is highly likely to have those changes made. Hopefully that's been easy enough to follow along. I just wanted to give it, lots of people have been asking what I'm likely to go with today, and I think that is what I've got. Hopefully it wasn't too messy. If you've enjoyed it, please let me know. I will be back at 4:15, maybe 4 o'clock UK time for the deadline stream. I might do 2 hours and 15 minutes. It's going to be 11 p.m. for me here, so I'm going to be super tired, and I may do the watch along with the Man United Nottingham Forest game, and I'll look at the things. Let me know if I should just move early for Saka, or should I save those transfers so I can then navigate blank game week 34 without having a free hit and then save it for the end of the season. That's the question I've got. Hopefully I've got the answer. Let me know if let me know if I'm barking mad or not. Drop a like and subscribe if you're new. Thank you. Thanks for watching. See you later on. D-Unit.